Hi, and welcome to Charlie in the Kitchen. Today we're going to talk about desserts. Desserts are special in our house because we don't have them very often, but when we do, we like to make them rich, delicious, and decadent. Today I'm going to make a mashup of two of our favorite desserts, a Dutch butter cake and chocolate chip cookies. First time I had Dutch butter cake, I was in Amsterdam. It's normally made with almonds, and today we're going to use pecans instead, and the chocolate chips are just going to make it that much richer. I love it, and I think you're going to love it too. Let's get started. Okay, the first thing we need to do is preheat our oven. So we're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees so it's ready to bake when we have the recipe ready. After that, I'm going to grease two 8 or 9 inch pans. I'm using 9 inch pans today because I like it to be a little thinner. We're going to grease them with spray, or if you don't have spray, just use butter. And then if you have parchment, I have found these parchment circles online that fit exactly into the pan. Okay, in a large bowl, we're going to want to add 2 sticks of butter. That's 1 cup if you need to measure it in another format. We're going to add 2 sticks of butter and 1.5 cups of sugar. Now you're going to want to mix that sugar and the butter until it's light and fluffy. Now the eggs, I told you, have to be slightly beaten. And I'm going to add a little bit of water to them. Just a splash. And then I'm going to beat the eggs. Okay, once my eggs are beaten, I'm going to add almost all of the egg, except a little bit. So I'm going to add the egg. Now I've left just a little bit of egg, and we're going to use that to brush the tops with. So let's go ahead and mix in the egg with the butter and sugar. Okay, everything's nice and mixed. Look at that beautiful pale yellow color. Okay, next we're going to add the vanilla. There we go. I'm not normally allowed to talk about my vanilla, but my vanilla comes from Mexico, and it's the best vanilla. If you can get vanilla from Mexico, you'll like the difference in the flavor. So mix the vanilla in. So the flour, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder to the flour. Now you have to make sure you're adding. That you're adding baking powder and not baking soda. So if you have an Arm & Hammer on the side of the box, you got the wrong thing. Make sure you're doing baking powder. We'll do 2 teaspoons. 1, 2. Just kind of mix this up so it's all incorporated and the baking powder is all mixed in. Now we're going to add the flour mixture to the wet mixture, and then it'll start to come together, and we'll get something that looks a little bit like a cookie dough. Keep looking on the sides for little pockets of flour. Little pockets of flour like to hide out. We don't want those pockets of flour not getting mixed in. Okay, see, now we've got a nice beautiful dough. I'm going to sprinkle in the cup of chocolate chips. Mix those in. Oops. I've got my helper. We're going to divide the dough in half. If you have a little scale, you can measure it, or you can just kind of eyeball it. Here's another little tip. Before you start to press the dough, wet your hands with water. So I'm going to go ahead and wet my hands with water, and then I'm going to form the dough. And start to press it out in the pan. Look at all those good chocolate chips. Now I'm going to put half of the pecans in one, and half of the pecans in the other, and then press them down. Okay, now one more step before the oven is this little bit of egg wash we have left. The oven's at 350 degrees for 30 minutes, but we're going to check the oven at 25 minutes. All right, let's wait. So I'm going to check them. They actually look nice and brown, so I'm going to go ahead and take them out. The nice sheen from the pecans. I'm going to take a taste. It's so good. I love the toasted pecan taste. Bon appetit and enjoy.